G'day. Welcome to another episode of Aaron's Adventures. Real quick one. This is basically to fulfill my promise that when I did my how to anchor anything to a wall video, was how to drill through a tile. It's really easy. Just a couple of things that you do need to know to be certain about before you do it. This obviously applies to anyone. It doesn't matter whether it's porcelain or ceramic, doesn't matter. The principle is the same. The first thing you got to do is be certain of where it is you're drilling the tile. I'm doing this video because when I did tiling for many years, the first question the customer would often ask me, especially towards the end, is how do I drill through a tile? Because they want to save themselves some money, and they want to put up the handrails and soap dish holders and stuff like that in the thing. They want to do it themselves just to save a buck, and that's fair enough. It's not that hard. So I said, well, tell you what, let me show you one, and once I've done it, you're fine. So we'll do that right now. Now, in this example, we're going through, this is some old ceramic tiles. We're going to put a soap dish holder in place because we've already got two of them, so let's make a third. I don't know. There's nothing else to put up. It's COVID-19 times. Let's go with more soap dish holders. What the heck? We need to give an example of something. You'll probably be wanting this information to do a towel rail or something like that. And we'll go through the little fundamentals of that one, but it's all basically the same. The first thing is, where are you drilling? Very important. I did mention about in the how to anchor anything to a wall video about electrical cables through the thing, through the wall as to where you're drilling. This is the same principle, but far more important. You can get away with drilling into an electrical cable and fix that relatively easily, but when it comes to water, you do not want to go through a pipe that's in a wall. That's far more expensive to sort out. So the general rule of thumb is this is a brick wall, internal brick wall. It's just a laundry, but the bathroom's the same principle. If it's on the opposite side to all of your plumbing and whatnot, you haven't got a problem if you're just putting in a towel rail or something like that, which most of the time is what you'd be doing. In this case, there are plumbing inside this wall here. Well, the thing I know about plumbers, and pretty much any tradesman, is they'll do as little amount of work as what they have to, of course. We're going to put one in about here, and I'm pretty confident that we're not going to have any issues, because the water itself is directed, it comes from the ground, not up through the roof. There's a bathroom on the other side of this wall, and all the plumbing is about the same height. Vanity, taps to your shower is all about this height. So if you have a look, you can see this. Okay, so you've got your hot and cold. These will join together to there, but from here they're also going to parallel up. You see the height of this, same again, hot and cold. So these two will be joined together and those two will be joined together. So if you evade anything within this area, the plumber could have come up and across to that, or he could have come down and across to that. As long as I just wouldn't drill anywhere in a line with this, or these two taps here in a line with that. Right, so it's not going to be anywhere within that area, but we're going to be going above that from here to here. I'm not going to go directly above, just to be sure, but I'm pretty certain that I doubt, highly unlikely, there's any plumbing up there. It'll chase across, it'll go through the wall to the bathroom on the other side, because as I said, the plumber will want to use as minimal amount of piping as possible, so I'm pretty confident with that. Some houses, though, have their plumbing going through the roof, so just watch that. There are devices you can use, magnets and other devices to find plumbing inside your wall, but just be certain, long story short, as to where it is that you're putting the hole. Very important, but I'm quite confident. I'm not going to use any devices because I've worked on enough building sites to know that if I was to put this soap dish holder about there, I'm pretty much laughing. There's no way in the world he went up, down, and then back across, and then down again. It's just a waste of pipe. So we're going to put this here, and if you're doing a towel rail, I'm going to pretend this is like a miniature towel rail and go off the same principles. And we're also going to be drilling this, as you can see, quite close to the edge of a tile, which is quite risky, which is a good example. If I can pull this off, then you can do it what I call an enclosed tile, like you say that one there, as opposed to what I call an open tile, because the edges are open and it runs the risk of cracks and chips and whatnot. Doesn't matter. Let's say a soap dish holder is going here. I'm just going to get a felt tip pen. That's not going through. That'll do there. In fact, tell you what, I'm not even going to mark that second one because until I've gotten that one right, and I highly recommend the same thing when doing a towel rail. Put one hole, accomplish one hole, and put a screw in there in its place, and then get the second one right. If you do both already and then you've made an error slightly, even by a few millimeters, you're accelerating the problem. Finish a hole, make it done. So there you go. We've got one hole, that's where we want it to go. Get a bit of your paper type masking tape. It must be this sort, not your plasticky type or anything like this. As you can see, it's kind of transparent. You can see through my fingers, you can sort of see through it. Rip off a bit of that. I'm just going to paste that over the top of my hole, or what the hole will be. Then I'm going to get the marker pen again and put the dot in this place again. If it's a smooth polished porcelain tile, this is very, very crucial this moment. That the idea of all this sort of stuff is that when you start to drill, it's not going to start racing on off around and chasing down the wall and scratching the wall or doing any sort of damage. You want it to stay still. One way to guarantee it, get rid of that, is I'm going to put a second piece. Right. That'll do. We've got two bits now, layer on layer. There's your dot, can't hurt, put another dot there again. So that's where we're going to drill our hole. Next part, obviously, to repeat the process again of what I said and how to anchor anything to a wall video, it comes down to it again. Don't worry about the drill so much. A cheap drill is fine, but you will really want variable speed. It's obviously got to have hammer facility, but variable speed in a tile situation is kind of really absolutely vital. In fact, I would say it's absolutely mandatory. You really need variable speed. But the other thing, and once again, the same principle, is the quality of the drill bit. And when you go to that hardware and you ask them, oh, can I please have a drill bit for drilling through tiles? And what the staff at the great big green giant building will say, here you go, here's a tile cutting drill bit. And they're usually about, I think it was about $15, $16. They're quite pricey. This is actually cutting through glass, but it is actually called a glass or tile cutting bit. Don't use this. I would probably use it for glass, but do not use this for tiles, and I'll explain why. It's not what you want. What you want is a high quality masonry bit. Right, there's the better the quality. Do not get a cheap, nasty Chinese one with little red bits or anything on it. You spend more money on this. When I say expensive, even it's like $7 or $8, $9 of this, as opposed to like $16 for that. I mean, the prices are quite accurate, but just see what I mean. Like that's double the price of that. What's the point? And it's not the right thing anyway. You want a good quality bit that's obviously the right size. Mentioned before about the diameter, it needs to be slightly smaller than the actual wall plug. But in this case, going through tile, you don't want it too much smaller. I did mention another video about like if you're going through plaster and the plaster's quite old and soft, you want a smaller one again so it doesn't crumb away so much of the soft plaster. But in this case, this is a hard tile, so the diameter we're going to drill is going to be pretty much exactly to that, which is fine. That and that is about nearly spot on. It's about 90% drill bit to 100% of the wall plug, whatever size that you choose. I go blue and everything, but in this case, probably just a green one would be fine, even a red one. It's only a soap dish holder. But the principle is simply this: round it off. We're in hammer setting. Turn it off. This is crucial. Do not have it on hammer setting. You will need a hammer drill, but don't have it on hammer setting. Regular setting, and what we're going to do is we're going to press that up, point it nice and neat there to where I want it, and because it's variable speed, I'm going to go very, very slowly. It started to shift, stop. I'm just going to start to grind it. What the sticky tape's doing is stopping it from sliding all over. You can hear it starting to scratch. Take your time with this. You've got one shot at it. Once you've drilled through a tile, there is no turning back. And you can hear it starting to scratch. Once I've got it basically ground into a point here, the tape is not really so important anymore, but I just tend to just leave it there in case you slip, especially if you've got expensive tiles that's brand new. You don't want to run a scratch through it, or your missus is going to be really upset. So I'm just going to go through. As you can see, the piece of paper at this stage has no relevance. It just really is needed for that initial stage. We've got to that. This drill bit's actually quite blunt. A brand new one would be performing a bit quicker at this stage. But now I can just gently, it's not going to move anywhere. Okay, a bit of white came out. She's done now. You see a bit of white powder come out. You've now basically reached the glue and the plaster. Once I've passed this point, now we can switch to hammer. But you still be gentle as you go. You don't want vibrations sideways to put a fracture in your tile. So just be gentle and careful and steady. That's just gone through the first layer of the brick. The good old bendy straw does the trick. Get rid of any debris. And there you've got yourself your hole. Just with the good old that there. Give it a few taps to get in and stop. Crucial part, I mentioned the other video. Use a block of wood. In this one, absolutely mandatory. If you slip or whack, you're going to crack that tile and damage it. So use a piece of timber. I actually might even go on edge at this stage to keep it further away. Can you go flat? There you go. Basically, I've done it. If you want to log off now, then go for your life. But if you want to see me do the second, we'll do it. But actually, if you've got a towel rail, just imagine this is a towel rail. A lot longer. You get one in place. Loose like that. You've got a chance to fix it. Once that is now in place, we're going to just get that level. Yeah, that's it, mate. It's right. Yeah, just good. Okay, so that's it there. That's your secret, you know. Sticky tape. There's your dot. Now, the reason I say not to use one of these, yes, that there will drill through the tile, but the very moment that gets past that tile and starts hitting the glue and the wall or anything else, that's just going to go blunt. It's going to go blunt fast. Don't waste your money with that. You're better off buying two good quality ones of these than wasting your money on an actual tile cutting bit. Often they can come in a kit. Wrong, they'll come with that bit with the actual the wall plug part in it, and they're all the same size and not giving that 100% to 90% ratio that I was talking about. So that went in nice and tight and smooth, and this drill bit is slightly smaller than the wall plug, but not too much because I said it's going through the tile. A little bit to get that. Grab a straw. And you give it a few taps. It's quite loose this one, but it's only a soapy holder. Stop again. Go to the block of wood. Done. That's a permanent marker. You can always get like a whiteboard marker, but permanent marker is fine because even a permanent marker like this, you see it's permanent marker. Wipe it on the tile. You can just wipe it straight off. With this particular soap dish holder, I didn't really need to use screws because it's actually got like a sticky pad on the back. You could have stuck it on with it, I suppose, but we're trying to give a demo here and make it as quick as possible. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is how to drill through a tile. We just successfully did it. We did it quite close to the edge there, so that the potential was there. But that is basically the trick. When you're really concerned about this getting done right, you've just spent God knows how much amount of money on getting your bathroom done. You do not want to make a mess of it. You don't want to have your towel rail slightly looking wonky or something wrong like that. Oh, heavens above, you would not want that to happen. Go get a brand new bit. It's half the price of one of these stupid so-called tile cutting bits. Good masonry bit. Quality of the drill, not relevant, but you must have variable speed. That's how to drill through a tile. Thanks for watching.